For myself, I come from an artistic family. My dad was a art teacher at Alhambra High School. So I was raised in a home where there were always art supplies. Messes were not frowned upon. It was creative. You're making something, you clean up after. That's all that's required. So that environment of okay mess creativity, I've always been an artist. I've always been interested in textiles, paints, draftsmanship, drawing, calligraphy. So going to PCC, Pasadena City College, I was taking all of the art classes. You can't have a major, but I call it I was taking a major in art. While there, I got a job at a picture framing store. And I thought it would be such an asset to be an artist in a frame shop. I was the first artist they had ever hired. So basically, you just hire someone willing to work in a frame shop, and there you go. I did that for 5 years, got myself through PCC, got married, continued to work for 3 more years, and then at some point it was like, yeah, I can quit. So I took 5 years working on my portfolio. I wanted to be a syndicated cartoonist, doing actual paper dolls for the newspapers like they did in the 30s and the 40s. So while I was producing that, I came to my friend's frame shop, New Creation Picture Framing, to buy a piece of mat board for a little project I was working on. And everybody in the shop was crying because they were liquidating. They had tried to sell the shop for 5 years, hadn't had any bites, and they wanted to move to Idaho, and that was it. And so I just went home to my husband and said, wow, Juanita, they're liquidating the store. It seems like such a shame, it's been up and running for 5 years, doing well. And he just went, wow, we should go look at the books, because that's a lot of wasted equity, effort, building up a business. 2 weeks later, we own a picture frame shop. In 1990, we bought the store, and I had a 2-month-old in my arms. And we bought the shop after the husband looks at the books and said, this is a good concern. We should not let this just die. And told me it would be a turnkey operation. That on his way home from his job, he would go into the shop, make the frames. The 2 existing employees, one of which is Andrea and a gal, Cindy, that they would run the shop, and I could come in like the queen and oversee my minions and how things were doing at the frame shop. What a lark. No, Matthew has lived in the frame shop. So picture framing is going through an interesting shift right now. Prior to the Great Recession, there were 77,000 independent picture frame shops in the United States of America. Now the estimate is somewhere between 12 and 14,000. That's all. So whether folks just couldn't make it, or they retired out and said that's it, or they just cashed in, or were just killed off by the mass production framing that goes on at Aaron Brothers and Michaels and Joann's, but the independent frame shop. And sometimes a person will go into picture framing because they think, oh, I really like woodworking. Woodworking is maybe 10% of what we do here. For the most part, it's that hand skills, it's design skills, it's color consultation, and dealing with customers in an amiable manner. So if you're good at math, you're good with your hands, you're good with people, you have integrity, and you can make things happen in a timely manner, why would you take all those skills and be a picture framer? You're not going to get wealthy doing this. You're going to earn a living, period. So I would say for the future of my industry, it's getting trickier and trickier online. So there's always offerings for sort of custom online, but the offerings still have to be so restricted so that manufacturer has 1,000 feet of molding of these 6 moldings. So you get custom framing because you can choose from 6. take a look around. I have like 2,000 to 3,000 frame samples for you to choose from. So I think the pool is getting smaller because there are ways to inexpensively get something that's very similar to the real thing. What we see in here is almost some stagecraft. A person bought a picture at a big box store. It had a big 3-inch gold frame. It was beautiful, and it was $50, glass and all. And it fell off the wall 2 years later, and they bring it to us and say, can you fix this? Well, it's a plastic frame. The whole thing is extruded plastic. It's done. Yes, you paid $50, but now your $50 is completely gone because none of this is salvageable. Now you take a real wood frame. Yes, you paid $150 for just the frame. And then there was a $40 piece of glass. And then you're going to pay me $30 to put it all together. Okay, that was more. But it's real. It falls off the wall. You bring it to me. When it struck the earth, each corner went and dissuaded displaced the strike. And we rejoin the corners. And you're back off. So there's real and there's looks real. And I think as all of our wallets get tighter and tighter and tighter, we want what we perceive the last generation had and what is an expected appointment in our room, in our homes. And so what we're doing is we're faking it with almosts. One of the most exciting things that happens here, about every 3 or 4 months, someone will have brought us a family heirloom. Maybe it's the medals from Dad or Granddad and the picture of him in his suit, his flight suit or something, dog tags. And they come to pick it up, just cry. That's when you know you've done your job, because you've put together the memory in a concise way, in a small place, and the whole story is there. They can explain it to someone if they want to say, this is my grandfather, these are his dog tags, this is what his story is, but it's all there. So it's not just, this is my job. I now have relationship with that person because they told me what is going into the shadow box and why. And now I made their dream come true. They don't have the hands to do it. They entrusted me with it. And I came through for them, and now everybody's just very excited. So it's super rewarding.
So anyone that's a Star Wars fan is going to understand this.